So our next topic is oncological emergencies. So these are life-threatening situations which is occurring due to the cancer or due to the treatment which is taken for the cancer. There are mainly three headings: obstructive emergencies, metabolic emergencies, and infiltrative emergencies. And under these three headings, there are associated disease conditions. First one is obstructive emergency. From the name itself, you can understand obstruction is the cause, and obstruction is caused by a tumor, and the tumor can obstruct either an organ or the associated blood vessels. So under this, mainly we can see superior vena cava syndrome, spinal cord compression, third space syndrome, and intestinal obstruction. All these four we are not going to discuss. Only the important one we will be discussing. Similarly, metabolic emergencies, syndrome of inappropriate antidiuretic hormone, hypercalcemia, tumor lysis syndrome, septic shock, disseminated intravascular coagulation. So many emergencies. From this also we will be very selective. Last heading is infiltrative emergencies. It includes cardiac tamponade as well as carotid artery rupture. And we are starting, so there are some other oncological emergencies like increased ICP, hypersensitivity reactions, intracranial malignancies, seizures, massive hemoptysis, airway obstruction, large pleural effusion, hyponatremia, hypoglycemia, adrenal failure, thrombocytopenia, thrombosis, increased viscosity syndrome, neutropenic sepsis, hemorrhage, extravasation. By the way, we are studying almost all the complications of the diseases. So I'm repeating, the oncological emergencies can occur due to the cancer or due to the cancer treatment. So we are starting with the first one, obstructive emergencies. That means these are primarily caused by the tumor obstruction of an organ or blood vessels. The first one is superior vena cava syndrome. So in this, the superior vena cava is obstructed completely or partially by the tumor. So what happens is, right atrium is not receiving blood, deoxygenated blood from the head, neck, as well as from the upper limbs. There are so many tumors which can obstruct the superior vena cava, like lung cancer, due to any metastasis, a thymoma, tumor in the thymus gland, or any of the tumors in the mediastinum. Out of that, breast cancer is considered as a common one. Or sometimes, if you are keeping a central venous catheter for a prolonged period, that can be a cause, or maybe an after effect of radiation therapy. So these all are the causes which can obstruct the superior vena cava. Due to this obstruction of superior vena cava, wide varieties of signs and symptoms we can see, either due to direct obstruction or due to disturbances or irritation of the nerve endings by the tumor. The signs and symptoms are merely related to that. Some of the main signs and symptoms are facial edema and erythema, periorbital edema, distension of vein of the head, neck and chest, headache, seizures, dyspnea and orthopnea, mental status changes, lethargy and altered sensorium. Airway compression symptoms include like cyanosis, cough with stridor, chest pain, dysphagia, hoarseness, and restlessness. Coming to the diagnostic evaluation, we can diagnose the case with the help of CT scan of thorax, and chest X-ray as well as MRI. So CT scan will be enough to identify. Complications we can see in this this syndrome is elevated venous pressure as well as increased ICP as well as laryngeal edema. How can we manage the situation? Definitive treatment like radiation therapy can be done in order to reduce the size of the tumor. so that the compression can be relieved. Otherwise, chemotherapy can be done only in chemosensitive tumors like small cell lung cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, or germ cell tumor. Based on the effectiveness of chemotherapy, we can use the chemotherapy. Endovascular stenting is one of the procedure. We will put a stent over the superior vena cava. In that, the stent will be expanding the vena cava. So it can be done in, it will not give complete satisfaction, but for a limited period, we can use this. If the cause is indwelling venous catheter, central venous catheter, we have to remove the catheter as well as we have to start with anti-thrombotic therapy. Sometimes we'll go with angioplasty, balloon angioplasty, as well as surgical bypass. That is only done in selected cases. In other cases, we will give only supportive measures. The treatment will be based on the patient's condition. We can provide supplemental oxygen to the patient, semi-recumbent position, as well as whatever procedure, vascular access we are having, we should avoid the upper limbs, because already the pressure will be increased in the upper limbs. Diuretics and intravenous steroids also can be given in order to control the fluid level of the patient. Nursing management, what we have to do, we have to identify the patients who are risk to get superior vena cava syndrome. We have to monitor and report the clinical features related to that. We have to monitor the cardiopulmonary as well as cardiopulmonary as well as neurological status. So we have to facilitate breathing by positioning the patient properly. Semi-recumbent position can be given. We have to promote energy conservation to minimize shortness of breath. So activity should be limited. So monitor the patient's fluid volume and administer fluid cautiously. Check the prescription twice or the case sheet. Assess for any thoracic radiation related problems such as dysphagia as well as esophagitis. So that is all about superior vena cava syndrome.